I am so invested, Zeke, to know if you are going to be grabbed by it, because I've played, you know, how many hours now? 50, almost 60 hours, which for me I would honestly say is kind of on the low end, and for like diehards of PoE 2, kind of on the low end, but for you know, a quote unquote normie, that's a shit ton of hours in a game for a week. People have already been to the end game, as it were. Kriparian actually put out, for those that don't know who Kriparian is, he's a very, very, I guess, storied streamer here on the platform. A lot of people know him for Hearthstone, but before that, he played a massive amount of Diablo 3. He was the first level 100 in Diablo 3 at a time when I think like 10,000 viewers was seen as like the tip top of the platform. That was him. He's also very much responsible for PoE 1 being as big as it is, because he was one of the streamers that like told everyone to go and play this game. And so many people did. These days, people like Zizarin and Mathel and all those PoE streamers, which we all know is like the mainstays now, did because Kriparian started streaming Diablo within PoE. So he put out a pretty, I don't want to say scathing review, but he put out a very opinionated review about PoE 2. I ended up watching it. It's about 30 minutes long, and I kind of agree with what he had to say, but it's such an interesting take because it only pertains to, I feel like the post map player. Because if you're playing the campaign, and he says as such, I want to say in the video, and I agree with him, if you're playing the campaign of PoE, the first 3 acts, and maybe you play Cruel as well for those acts, it's a pretty good experience. Like, it's a great campaign. The story is pretty fun. The quests are fun. The zones are great. The game looks gorgeous. You get a sense of progression with the skill system, and all of that stuff is very much true. It's when you get to kind of like the late game maps, the tier 10, tier 15 maps, that he started to really realize that all of that content is ruthless from PoE 1. Like, the entire game is just ruthless from PoE 1. And as I started to look at it more in kind of that lens, I really do agree with him that like test that they did from PoE 1 a year ago or whenever that was them trying to see if the player base would respond to it. And in a lot of ways, they're not hiding it, but the graphical improvement to the game and all the other systems and everything that they added to the game kind of like obfuscate a little bit of that fact. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but as you get later into the end game, it's one-shot city. For those that don't know what Ruthless is a mode in Path of Exile 1 that they put into the game as kind of a test where they pulled back all of the power levels and basically just made a much harder version of the game. Everything from like having no travel skills or having very few travel skills, to mobs hitting much harder, to just drops and items being much rarer. It was just an overall like harder experience. It was a ruthless experience. And that's why they called it as such. And so having like watched that review, it's honestly tainted a little bit of my progression with the game, having now only been in early maps on 2 characters, because I start to realize how much like truth there is, and they can still change it, right? It's still early access. And the other thing that he says, and I very much agree with, this is for people that are going to be pushing into game content. If you're jumping in for the first time, someone like Zeke, none of this will apply to you. You're still going to have a fantastic time in the campaign, and in early maps, you'll do great. You'll have a ton of fun. The game's really well made in that regard. It only applies to kind of the end game, the tier 16 plus. So I do hope they change that. Again, I'm not there personally yet, but it has kind of diminished my overall interest in wanting to get to that aspirational content, because it is, as Crip said, one-shot city. Like you just get fucking destroyed by like white mobs that just come up and one shot you. So
no, and that's what I'm kind of counting on as far as my playthrough, or not playthrough, but like me playing the game. It's my own build until my knowledge of the game becomes unviable.
right.
And once that happens, then I'll start looking up guides and, that kind of shit. But until that point, which is, tens of hours, maybe even, hundreds of hours before I get to that point, like I'm just gonna do what I feel like might be best.
Yeah. And I will say that's actually where PoE succeeds 100% is the ability for someone who has no preconceived notions or no knowledge of PoE that can jump in and have a great time from the get-go and not be overwhelmed that's like the dream, I think, for GGG to be able to do. And it's honestly realized, I think, in PoE 2 now. I saw it with Gassy Mexican. I saw it with a ton of different streamers that were playing for the first time, that when they played PoE 1, they were just like, well, I don't fucking understand anything that's going on. This is way too busy. And then they got in PoE 2 and they're just like, okay, I get this gem and here are a couple gems that I can use to like mess with that. This skill tree is kind of fucking crazy, but I know if I zoom all the way in, I don't have to pay attention to all of that yet. And I can, get this node because it gives me 10% spell damage. So let me go ahead and choose that. And it's just so much more approachable. And so that's where I think the game really succeeds, and is a really good time because you can just hop in and have fun. You're going to die, but it's not going to be something that's like insurmountable initially. Maybe some of the later game campaign bosses might be, but you'll be able to grow, I think, at the end of the day.
And also a big reason why I'm checking this one out. I didn't get into PoE 1.
Controller.
The controller is just great and it feels good.
Yep.
I can't wait for the hybrid scheme. That's the only reason I don't use a controller at all.
What do you mean by the hybrid scheme?
They've, from what I understand, they've already announced they're going to allow you to use controller and then also use your mouse and keyboard for passive attribution, inventory management, selling, managing your stash. Right now, if you switch to controller, you have to use controller for everything.
Oh.
Even going through your you can't switch back and forth between controller and keyboard and mouse. So that absolutely sucks. So what they're apparently doing is adding a hybrid scheme, so you can move your character around with a controller, but then when you do your bank and inventory and selling and all that, you can use mouse and keyboard.
God.
I thought
and I will be here for that.
I took that for granted. I honestly did, because
oh, me too. When I realized you couldn't do it, I stopped using it.
Move around, combat, all that shit with controller, and then when it comes to inventory management, you just grab the mouse and keyboard. And once the game senses the mouse, it just switches automatically. Yeah. They don't have that?
Nope.
No, not yet.
You have to actually exit out to the main menu to switch your control scheme. You can't even do it in the game. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a WASD game then.
Well, I will say this. WASD is awesome. I love it. WASD feels great, and it connects you to the characters so much better than I feel like Click to Move does. I am loving WASD in this game. Feels great.
I haven't tried it yet, but
I can't go back.
I think I'm playing the game in a weird way, utilizing the WASD thing without actually playing it. That is to say, when I click, I will click further than I need to go and start casting my spell, because you still cast while moving in this game. And so maybe I should just swap to WASD, because I think I'm doing that inherently.
Yep. You should absolutely
but I'm just clicking still. I hadn't thought about that. The only thing though is I use W for some of my skill keybinds, and that's got 10,000 hours ingrained. So
unacceptable.
It might be kind of a hurdle. I bricked my character last night. Unfortunately, I am playing a sorcerer at the moment, using a bunch of different lightning spells. I was using arc, and I decided, like an idiot, at level 65 to be like, I'm gonna go Archmage. And so I got Archmage, and then by going Archmage, I decided, and this is gonna sound like gobbledygook to a lot of people, but I decided to go and get the passive nodes that change all of your energy shield to mana, and then for all of your damage to come from your mana pool first before it goes to your life tree.
Oh my.
At level 65. And I was like, this is gonna go great. And I walked into my first fight, and it's like, I don't have any fucking mana because I just got hit. So
Well,
I couldn't do anything. And so the reason that it's quote bricked is because I used, I think, like 40,000 gold to respec all those points. And now I have no gold to respec. So
Yeah, okay, now, ignorant noob question: can you not go back to like lower level places and like slowly grind up your gold again?
yeah, which is what I'm gonna have to do / have
but
done.
that's super annoying.
there
It's
is a
super
way out.
annoying, yeah.
and
Yeah.
like nobody that plays that game is going to want to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I,
at that point, you
You're just
may
gonna
just
start
consider
over a new
re-rolling.
character.
Yeah.
I would probably, yeah. I mean, it might be faster just to re-roll, but I don't know. It's not. It's bricked in the sense that I have to do something, and I can't immediately like play the character at this very moment. Like I'm gonna have to go farm some money, change skills, get new items, blah 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 blah. So we'll see what happens with that. But I had a great time playing it up until that point, and then I was just like, let's turn my character into something you shouldn't do till you're much later on in the game with actual gear and, you know, the supporting passive skills from the tree. And it was a stupid decision that one should not do. But I'm not following a build. I don't think a lot of people are following a build, and I'm still having a pretty good time with it, which has actually been really fun. Just clicking around and trying stuff. Go, we're watching some of your gameplay here. You're playing, someone said you were playing hardcore on all your characters?
I was playing hardcore for like 5 or 6 characters and then switched to softcore so I can actually complete the axe once.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to go back to hardcore because I've been loving my hardcore time, even though it's just so brutal in this game. It's punishingly brutal, but it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So.
What are you playing that died in hardcore that you kept playing?
Merc, the ones that I've really done so far are Merc, Ranger, and I did a little bit of Witch, but I didn't like the Witch too much. So Merc and Ranger have been the ones I've been kind of focused on. I've really been digging those. In fact, my Merc currently in softcore is using a Ranger skill and a Merc skill.
Oh, okay.
And a bow and a crossbow, so that's kind of interesting. But
Nice.
yeah, mostly playing a Merc right now and Doug Ranger as well. Played Monk a little bit too. Monk was a lot of fun as well.
Monk seems really, really strong. I've only played the caster. I've only played Witch and Sork, and they're fine. But Monk seems really strong. I haven't seen too many people saying Titan's like great, which is the full melee class. And then Merc and Ranger are also very strong from everything that people are saying. Zeke, are you going caster route? Have you decided? Do you have an idea?
I always do that first on RPG games.
Okay.
I always do magic, but with a game like this, it's hard to decide, because there's so many different magic users.
Yeah.
Like primary magic users. I mean, that's their main weapon is magic. But I remember my Diablo 2, like not playthrough, but I think I got up to Diablo, way back when 5 years ago or something when I first played Diablo 2. I did the necromancy with the corpse explosion and stuff like that.
Sure.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, lightning looks great, fire looks great. Is there something besides lightning and fire? Like
There's ice.
the main weapon?
Ice.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
ice. It
Electricity.
Yeah, well,
I guess
that's
it's lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah, I guess that covers that, doesn't it? Yeah. Chaos, but that's different.
What does chaos mean?
It's like
Chaos is purple. It's just a different damage type.
chaos is
It's not like
purple.
chaos magic like D&D, like it's not unpredictable.
No,
It's not. It's
Okay.
predictable.
Sort of. It has some different. Yeah, go ahead, JP.
purple bleed. Let's go with
There
that.
you
It's like purple bleed. It's chaos magic is
And then there is also bleeding and
Dots.
poison. Yeah.
There are physical spells if you want to go that route as well, which are bleeding, like Ko said, and they're outright called physical spell damage in this game. So
Okay.
the game will tell you all
Which
that. Which
one looks the coolest?
I mean, I think that's eye of the beholder situation.
Sure. Okay.
Warrior.
I was wondering if there was a standout that was just like, that's so cool. That's like the coolest.
Warrior's pretty balls out. Warrior's pretty cool.
Warrior's pretty cool.
It looks pretty badass. Big old 2-hand smashy. Yeah.
Lightning Monk gets kind of badass because you basically you get like a staff, like a quarter staff.
Now, honestly, everything looks pretty.
Everything's very pretty.
Everything looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all looks pretty
The
damn
the
good.
monk quarterstaff, basically he like ignites each end with lightning, and so he's got kind of like a lightsaber thing going on, like a Darth Maul thing, and
That's
it looks really fucking cool. But I would say don't play Warrior unless you're really into it, because I think you'll bounce off.
Warrior's pretty underpowered right now. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the starting game. In the first like several hours, you'll probably feel more power playing a magic user like a Sork or a witch.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's never been a thing for me. Like big muscles, smashy stuff. Like you'd think that'd be me. Like if you looked at me or knew me at all, you'd be like, that guy's a barbarian. He rages and stuff like. No, my power fantasy is like, I'm gonna burn you to death with my fingertips. Like that's me.
Yeah, lightning might be your route then.
You might be good to go then.
Yeah, as Ko said, everything looks fantastic in the game. I love the overall art direction of it all, and it runs well. What's that?
I can't believe how many people heard me say fingertips. Like there was like from all three chats, people were like, did he just say fingertips?
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. I think
I'm more surprised you didn't say that. At this
yeah, that's true. I'm with Ko on that.
point.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but play like lightning. You'll probably enjoy that. It'll be a good time. Initially, we'll see how. I am curious to see how far we make it, or how far you make it. You could also play co-op. I don't know if you're if Miss Classy is interested in playing, but I did do some co-op and it's fun. It was a great time just walking around and actually playing PoE with another person after 8,000, 10,000 hours. It's been a solo experience for me, so it's been good doing co-op stuff. Yeah.
No, for anyone asking, I won't be streaming PoE 2 because for a couple of reasons that you probably already know. The first reason is I want to know nothing. I want to try and fail things. And the streaming it makes it difficult because people will go like, why isn't he doing this? It seems it's like, that shit. Like, even if you're trying to be helpful, it's like, I don't want to know. I just don't want to know.
Yep. Makes sense.
Nothing wrong with that.
In terms of news, PoE related stuff, they've made some pretty significant changes, outright just demolishing builds that have existed. And some of the community is, I think rightfully so upset about that, but it is early access. So it's not like it's a proper league. None of these characters all of these characters are within the standard realm, but they kind of just gutted the cast on X builds. So cast on freeze was using Comet, and mobs were freezing very, very, very frequently. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to stop that. And so that build was kind of demolished. There was a couple other builds where people were just one-shotting bosses, and I do mean one-shotting bosses, so that stuff makes a little bit more sense. And it doesn't outright destroy the character.
So one thing though is honestly, I heard more people upset about the fact that they weren't able to respec than they were about the nerfs. Like
Well,
I think most people were frustrated that the update bricked their build and
Yes.
they didn't get a chance to like recover.
Yeah, I mean, the recovery process is to go and farm gold. And I think, I would hope that GGG is taking a look at respec cost, because they are very high the
dude,
further
I mean,
you
it's-
get in the game.
It seems like especially during EA, there's no reason not to offer free respecking after every major patch.
Yeah.
Like this is it seems like this has been a wake up call, and I hope they're thinking of whatever that system's going to look like to get it implemented as soon as possible because it's needed.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely needed.
And you know, if you want people to like test your game and try different things out, like just make it free for this period. Like that will get people to test more things out. It doesn't test the situation to remedy that in the long term, but in the short term, it gets them to continue playing their character. So I guess you have to look at, is it a more of a win?
I
Yeah.
totally thought you were talking about the $30 buy-in. I was like, what? No, you're talking about make respecking free.
Yeah,
make it all free.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, I see what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying give them the $30 back.
I was like, that would take the sting out, but I don't know if they're gonna do that.
yeah. No, I mean the $30 fee. Or I mean respecking. I don't mean the $30 fee. Now you got me confused.
Yeah, I know. Now we're all just confused. Okay.
Yeah.
So every patch they refund us $30. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Doing.
Is
all right,
that,
cool, great, perfect. We like to
they
get the
need
right
to
information
send-
out here
I
on
mean,
this channel.
Yeah. By the way, have you opened this yet, Co? Did you get this?
No, but probably because I haven't done my puzzle box yet, and they're still mad at me.
Okay. This came from China, and it came in
Ooh.
the box it came from was completely wrapped in orange tape, and I was a little bit worried when I got it because it just said my address on it in giant black Sharpie, and I thought I got mailed a bomb. 100%.
So wait, have you not? So why have you not opened it?
Because I just got it this morning, so I'm gonna open it on
okay.
stream tomorrow or something. I don't know what's in it, but I
have no idea.
I was very like, what the fuck is that? When I looked out my my front door. this morning.
Understandably.
Yeah, just a giant orange.
Dad is saying
box.
open it now.
I-
JP.
Okay.
Are you doing chat? Oh, he's doing it, chat.
I don't
Look at that. Look at the power you have. Oh my god.
Wait. Oh, I don't have a knife. Wait.
Well, maybe SOL then.
Maybe. Okay, great. That's just all over my nails. Fantastic. Ow. Okay. It's a black box. It says Path of Exile on it.
Slower, slower, slower. What are you doing? Slower.
That's got so much static in it that scared the hell out of me. All right.
Anything about embargoes? Check for dates. Check for
Yeah.
dates.
Do not
Okay.
open this box in an unventilated room.
No, I can. It basically says like, hey, thanks for playing PoE 2. Welcome to it. Your journey begins now. We hope the items we sent to help you prepare for the epic adventure ahead, and we can't wait to see the incredible content you'll create with PoE 2. What did they send? Oh, we got like some stickers.
It's gonna be. It's like a pack of cigarettes, a 40-ounce,
some Red Bull or just straight caffeine.
some Red Bull,
We got a
some caffeine
shirt.
pills.
Oh, nice. We got a little
Yeah.
hat. That's a cool hat.
It's a dad
button.
hat. There we go.
I like a dad hat.
I
Yeah.
want a dad hat.
And then, a mouse pad. Okay,
Or
so
when
yeah,
you
it's
wear
just like a
yours
little
out
press
from
box.
playing PoE. Nice, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
Pretty good. Pretty good tapes. Pretty good.
Nice.
Open up the mouse pad. There you go, chat. Now I don't have to open it up later.
You know what? I was just thinking the other day. I personally am in need of a new hat and a new mouse pad. I was just thinking that the other day.
Just in case anyone's listening from GGG, right?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. Hit up this.
And it just so happens my mailing address is on my channel page.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow. You haven't played the game yet, Zeke.
There you go.
I know. But that didn't stop fucking Starfield from sending me a fucking care package.
Yeah, but to be fair, they haven't played their game either.
Set it up. I'm setting you up and you just
So
spike
we
it, baby.
want
Good job.
developers to come. Man, between me making fun of the height difference and Troy Baker and what's his name on Twitter, and you making that comment, yeah, and the toddler, we're fucked. He's never coming on the show.
So chat said that during that, and I can't not see that now every time.
They were really funny.
I just realized you called him a toddler.
Yeah. Did you not see the Photoshop?
That's so good.
Dude, I responded to one of Jeff Keighley's tweets about that and felt bad afterwards, but not in the moment. In the moment, I thought it was the greatest idea ever. And now I don't, because I'm sure Bethesda Press saw that and they're just like, what are you doing? Anyways, someone Photoshopped this, and I think that's funny.
Todd
that's my
Todd
D&D
already
right
has.
there.
He already has his naughty list for Elder Scrolls 6, and JP is
I
right
know,
there
I'm
at the top.
screwed. Oh, you're right there after that comment. You're right underneath.
JP.
Hey, I have a 100 plus hour playthrough of Starfield on YouTube. I'm good, man.
I got a 30 or 40.
I'm good. I balance.
Okay.
Yep. I've earned some cred.
You got your high elven ranger, you got your wizard, and then you got your halfling thief.
That's true.
It's a great party.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I got tape in my mouth or what the fuck. Anyways, anything you guys want to add about PoE 2? Cole, have you done like a full thoughts video? I haven't seen.
I've done an early thoughts video where I basically just said that, to be honest, I'm absolutely loving my time in it because I'm one of the players that prefers what PoE offers more than what PoE 1 offers. I like games that are slower, more methodical, loot matters more. Like I like PoE 2 better because I like the design decisions in PoE 2 more than in PoE 1. It's not that I'm saying it's a better game. It's just more my speed. It's what I like from these types of games. So that's the TLDR, my early thoughts video. Like I'm having a really good, I also really like how this game is clearly fundamentally designed to be a better new player experience. It's designed to give players more control. It's designed to give them more flexibility. It's designed to give them, it's just such a smoother, every time I'd play PoE 1, I'd always complain about the new player experience. I feel like PoE 2 in a lot of ways is their answer to that in all the right ways. And yeah, I'm loving my time in it. Yeah. I made a ranger and had it dead just in the course of this show today. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Have you made it to either of the trials yet for ascending?
Yes, I did the first trial on my Merc. And that was fun. Had a good time with it. I'm a witch hunter. I've not done the second trial. I'm currently working through Act 2. I just completed the flute thing. So I think I'm going to be doing the made the replica or whatever that is. So to clear the storm. So I'm doing that and working through that and having a good old time.
Yeah, the trial stuff is a big pain point, I think, for a large portion of the community. Just if you're not a big fan of not ritual. What the hell was that? What was the season where Sanctum? There you go. If you're not a big fan of Sanctum, you really
mean the temple?
Well, yeah, the first ascendancy is the Sanctum season. That's that mechanic from Sanctum.
Yeah.
And the second one is Ultimatum, if you remember the Trial Master and all that stuff. Sanctum is more of an enjoyable experience for me than the Ultimatum stuff can just be fucking awful. It can be a really bad experience. And I've only gotten, on both my characters, I've only gotten to the second ascendancy. But when you get to the fourth one, so and when you did Sanctum for the first ascendancy, you know how you had that one sheet, the quote, one floor of Sanctum that you had to complete, and then you had the boss? For the fourth one, the final one, you have to do 4 floors of that. So 4 of those
And
maps.
you have to keep your honor up the whole time?
Yes, and you cannot die. And there's a boss at the end of every single one.
That doesn't seem very balanced.
Yeah.
Is that really?
That's it. You cannot fail. You have to get all the way to the end. And the
I feel
bosses...
like they're going to change that maybe.
I don't know. Like the bosses get harder. Granted, you can also farm relics that you can, help make that thing a little easier.
That's true. That's
But-
true. So even fails can get you progress.
Yeah. The ultimatum stuff is a pain in the ass for me. Some of the bosses that you get at the end of ultimatum all suck for different reasons. There's one that like puts a tornado down right on top of you that'll just like one shot you ultimately. There's like a multi-tiered chimera fight where they'll just like fly up and go to the top or go to the bottom, and you have to like chase them around the map. That sucks. There's one where there's like two other bosses, but I actually can't think
I will
what they
see
are.
these. So
You will see them eventually, yeah. And they're just kind of annoying. They need to like reassess that stuff, and I'm sure they will. Right? They've probably gotten so much feedback. I might actually reach out to them and see if they want to have. Oh wait, Christmas kind of like Jonathan. You want to come on next week? 2 days before Christmas.
I'm sure he's not busy.
I'm sure he probably would if I asked, but yeah, maybe we'll have him on in the new year.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, see what they're
love to talk to him about future plans and stuff.
See what they're thinking, because they probably have so much more. I mean, you heard like Warren and them earlier today. The second it gets in players' hands, you actually start getting like real, true feedback. So they probably have so much feedback now. With how many hours there have been played of PoE 2 at this point?
What are they've been sitting at 400K players?
Oh, they're crushing it. Yeah. I don't seen it. I have not seen it drop below 400K since it came out. Which,
insane, dude.
That was their peak for PoE 1 for perspective.
Actually insane.
Yeah. It's doing very well. It's doing very well. And they've peaked at like I think 580, 560. And you got to keep in mind those are all $30 folk. It's not free. Those people all paid $30 to get in. So they're doing quite well.
Okay.
They're doing quite well. Makes me very excited for whatever the future is, because they can now, hopefully grow even bigger as a company and continue to push out those contents or push out that content, seasonally.
Big time.
I'm excited for it. It should be good. I will keep playing the PoE. I'm sure.
PoE 1 peak on Steam was less than 250K, says Saitian.
Really? I thought they like peaked at. Okay. I thought that was.
Is that even with the later
300.
ones?
Yeah, I thought like more like Mirror of Calandra or whatever that season of Calandra was like 300K. God, they're 516 currently.
Right now?
That's what someone in. Okay, I'm opening it.
What's their cap? What's their max?
I'm going to the Steam DB.
All right, this is happening, guys.
This
We're talking
is
about PoE
happening.
1. We're talking about PoE 1, not PoE 2. Yep.
PoE 2 right now, 513,000. The all-time peak is 578,000 on Steam. 24-hour peak is 517. So,
wow,
they're doing great.
Okay.
I mean, they're 1 week out. Stash tabs are on sale this week. So if you've been holding off from spending the $30 of in-game currency for some tabs, you can.
Some tabs.
It's actually trending upward. Wow, I'm gonna show this. Hold on.
Okay, that's actually something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Is there have nothing to do with builds or playing the game or anything? Is there advice you would give me like related to the game that I should know, that it has nothing to do with builds or making the game itself less challenging or whatever? Like stash tabs, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
Stash tabs are
something I
big.
should just.
So in this one, you're no longer relying on RNG to dictate your skills. So whenever you get a skill gem, look through the options that it gives you and understand there's a little checkbox at the bottom you can uncheck to see a lot more that you may want to use. Also, the game's pretty good about stopping you from putting gems that you can't into different things. I mean, did you play Path of Exile 1 at all?
I played one stream with Ziggy like telling me how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about PoE 2 is that it does a pretty good job introducing the mechanics to you. What I would recommend is this game really lends more than the last one to fully exploring all the maps, especially early game. There's lots of fun side content that is not necessarily down the main line. There's even like optional bosses you don't even have to do. They're just chilling in maps. So definitely like fully clearing maps can be fun.
Hey everyone, and
it makes you a little bit stronger, which is good.
And I hear you say
Very
maps
good.
all the time. I hear that all the time And it seems like that's
Oh,
an
I'm sorry.
ancillary thing to the main
Wait.
quest.
No. So maps in this case are what when I'd say zones, areas. There is a mapping system at the end of the game. Those are map items. That's a different thing. I'm talking about like the little zones that you go into. Yeah, what's the right name for them? Areas?
Just fully explore every place you go.
Zones, yeah, areas.
Zones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just read. And I say that because we're both streamers, and I know that we don't do that. All that often.
That's another reason. That's another reason why, like, I'm not playing this on stream, and I didn't do Metaphor on stream because I read everything.
Yeah.
So like that's boring to stream, like, and you get tired of reading everything out loud, and kudos to you for doing that, JP, with Metaphor. But like, I just finished it, and I'm like, right. Man, I'm glad I didn't stream this because holy shit, there's a lot of talk. That's not voice acted.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of reading. What were you gonna say, Co?
I was going to say, every time you're picking a skill, there's a little video if you click on this skill, so you can actually see the skill get used. You can see what it looks like, how it functions. So it's a great way to pick skills early game.
Yep. And they even tell you a little bit about like some combos and things like that. So it's very good. I like that stuff a lot.
Cool. Agreed. Can't wait. I'm actually super excited to jump in and check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
just like get my ass handed to me.
Look at this, and maybe it's because of the weekend, but like the game's actually slowly growing, which you don't see that often. That's awesome.
One other tip I will also give: this game 100% prioritizes the defensive game over the offensive. So especially when you're fighting bosses, it does not matter how much damage you're doing if you're not staring at the ground under your character's feet, avoiding AoEs. Because it like get in the habit of keeping your eyes on you, especially if you're using WASD and not where you are aiming, because that is a quick way to die a lot in this game, is by focusing on your aim more than your character.
Yeah, there is a
That's one downside of WASD, by the way. That's one downside of WASD is I've found myself, because I have such a better tactile connection to my character with WASD, I find my eyes wandering away from my character more, and then I die. Like, I'll be focusing on making sure my arrows are hitting the boss, and I won't catch that 0.75 second activated AoE that plops under my feet because I'm not having to click to move. I'm not having to pay attention to that side as much. So sure. I'm in the process of fixing that muscle memory.
Yeah.
Which has been a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I would say Zeke, just play the game.
Yeah. Just play the game. Also keep in mind that the dodge mechanic is not optional.
Oh, you should dodge. Yes.
Yeah. Dodging, which you didn't have to do in PoE 1, dodging is 100% in this game. Yeah. Like get used to it early and use it all the time.
I had this conversation with my chat about the dodge function specifically. Do you feel, given how much Souls games you've played, Elden Ring, whatever, do you feel that you're better at dodging because of that? Because I do.
Yes. I will say I feel that I'm better than dodging that, but I will also say this. I think the dodge mechanic is half complete.
How do you figure?
I think the dodge mechanic is too important to the core of this class to not have major skills, passives, and abilities that are going to alter it. I think that the dodge needs passives in the tree that make it longer, that give you more iframes, that make it faster, that make it so you can double dodge, that make it so it changes the act of the dodge, like maybe with blinks and stuff. Like, the dodge is simply too important of a core mechanic to not have it be somewhat more customizable to how you want to play your class.
Sure.
There should be a warrior dodge. It makes it so you don't even move. You just get like an 80% damage reduction while you're, for a fraction of a second. Like it just feels like dodging is too important to not have there be more Path of Exile in that system. Path of Exile is all about customization, making things yours. And literally dodging is like a third of 60% of boss fights. I feel like it's just, there's not enough in it.
I see what you're saying. There are ways to like alter it. Like you get access to blink as a spell later on, but it's much later, like level 50 plus.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm only midway through Act 2, and I haven't seen like anything to do anything to it. We're gonna have across multiple classes.
I think when you're saying like to bring the PoE-ness of it, that they have specifically said like the traversal skills, they do not want that in PoE 2. Yep. And so they got to be careful about like adding that stuff because they don't want to just like make movement skills a thing and negate the dodge. But I see what you're saying 100%. And I agree with you 100%. It might just be
like for instance, it'd be interesting. Well, it'd be hard to balance, but it would be interesting if like each class had a different type of dodge.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be a lot, but I mean, you know, that'd be kind of cool. Like if the ranger was like more of like a quick sidestep, if the warrior was like a longer roll, you know, like again, it works how it is. It's fine how it is. Let's be real. But the whole point of PoE is making things your own, and it just seems so important.
Yeah.
I mean, especially I'm hearing like end game mapping, mostly one shots.
Yes.
From bosses. If you're not dodging, it's one shots. So it's weird to think that
it's not just from bosses either. It's from like white mobs. You just get one shot.
So it's just weird to think that important of a mechanic is not more customizable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I also took away from Crip's video, because I haven't experienced the tier 15 plus content myself, is he actually feels like there needs to be more leniency on the dodge roll. Because if the way that he, I think, says in the video, if like a pixel on the character's arm is in a beam or something that you're trying to dodge roll out of, you just die. And so there needs to be like, I think he was basically saying,
or like a percent thing. So like if you're more in,
or like a leniency issue, or just something to where you just don't get like absolutely one shot for being like barely in a thing. I haven't experienced that myself, so I can't really comment on it. But if that is how it does work, then that really sucks. Because there's a little bit of leniency, I think, and they're not, obviously, Souls games are very different. But you get a little bit of iframe and a dodge roll every once in a while that you can kind of like learn to play in. Maybe that's not what they want for PoE. I'm sure they're getting.
Yeah, it all depends on their intention. Like maybe, for instance, another way to think about this is maybe they specifically want a mechanic that is exactly the same between all classes that they can balance around, so it's easier to balance around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know, that's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah. I say I'm always interested to see, but I really want to see what feedback they take from all of this and how the game changes, 6 months from now. If it will just be a like suck it up, get good type response, or if they'll actually kind of lean into it and make it a little bit, for all intents and purposes, I guess, easier. Or access to easier things. We'll see. That said,
I think as a dev, I would err on the side of leaving it difficult.
Yeah.
Just because like the amount of complaining and the amount of flack that people get, like you don't want to complain that it's too difficult because people will shit on you for it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there is a part where like being difficult shouldn't be don't have fun. Right? Like
True.
Difficulty should be fun, I guess is what I'm getting at. And that's fucking hard to do, right? Like that's a very hard thing.
We all have such different versions of fun.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah. Like my idea of fun last night after I bricked my character was dying to the same boss 10 times in a row and then being like, well, this shit's not fucking working. What do I need to do?
That is a version of fun.
Most people would be like 2 times in, I'm fucking done with I'm going to go play something else.
My version of fun is becoming wildly over encumbered and spending 30 minutes hobbling back to a vendor.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Little weird, but we'll take it.
Hundo P. Let's move forward. That's PoE. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the future.